You are listening to the Success Leaves Clues podcast,
where we're having conversations with regular people doing outstanding and legacy-changing things in corporate America and entrepreneurship.
If you're looking for the blueprint to help you make less mistakes on your journey to freedom and ultimate purpose, then this is the podcast for you.
And now, here's your host, Dr. K. Dr. K.
All right, I'm here today with David Carlin. Founder of Residual Payments, along with his wife, Patricia, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us today, but I'm happy you're here.
She's always a couple feet away. We work together all day long, 7 days a week, 10 years strong. We're both still alive, haven't killed each other. So, yeah.
Awesome. Congrats. It sounds like me and my wife, we are, not only relationship partners, but business partners. And it works well for us. So it seems like y'all are a good dynamic duo, too.
We're both crazy. So I think we're both same mindsets. That's why it works. For some people, maybe not. I don't believe in all that BS, like happy wife, happy life. It's like, no, it's a roller coaster of fights and happiness, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Awesome. So you said 10 years. Is that 10 years also in business or just 10 years for the relationship?
A little over 10, around 10. I should actually look those facts up. Someone's like a fact check. Nah, I saw you got married. It's probably around 10 years, a little over. I met my wife, moved in 3 weeks later, got married the same year. So it's just like we are in business, just boom, 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 boom. I was in the retail space at that time, owning a bike company, online, offline. She was in credit card processing, which she's been doing since she was out of high school for 23 years. And then obviously after finding out about her business, I got rid of all my overhead, all my employees, and outside of marrying her, joined forces and making, residual income off of credit cards is what we do to this day.
Right. So both of you had an entrepreneur mindset before y'all even came together.
Yep.
So that's rare. You said bikes, though. What type of bike? Are you talking about motorcycle bikes or bicycle?
Regular bikes, but it was pretty cool. It wasn't like your normal bike company. Like you could say, I want movies to play in my wheels. I want wooden handlebars. I want my face on my bike. It was pimp your ride for bikes. And it was a lot of fun. The main store location was a couple blocks from the beach, and we sold online obviously as well. But everyone who worked for me also surfed. So when the surf was up, it was just kind of like one of those things. I'd be out there surfing, and I'd see all my employees like, "What are you guys doing?" It's Dave the Wave. So it was definitely a real business. But it was like, if you could imagine like surf culture type of people, it was more of like on surfing on the store, and people are like, it was a big business, but we ran it like a club essentially.
Yeah, it sounds like a great place to work. It's got almost that, that Capital One or that Google vibe, where everybody really likes to come to work. It's not, too stressful. What was the problem?
Fun.
Yeah, what was the problem with the business? Why you would want to get out of something like that?
Oh, I'll never get involved in any other. No offense to anybody if you're thinking about getting into retail or you own a retail, what have you. But every single day reset. You sell $100,000 worth of products in one day. Okay?
Yeah,
that was yesterday. Right. You have all this overhead. You have all these employees. Every single day resets. When I found out about my wife's business, that she sets up people's credit card processing online and offline for the ability for people to take payments either through their website or through a terminal. Everyone shops online and offline.
Yeah.
She makes a small percentage off of every single sale. So after setting somebody up once, like her oldest account, which is mine because I'm married to her, is 16 years ago. 16 years old. 16 years ago, she set up payment processing for a couple and a gentleman for their business. They went on to be the number 2 MLM in the world. Doesn't really, no correlation to anything. But 16 years ago, she set up their payment processing, and every single month, 16 years later, we're still making residual income off of that one-time setup. So when I found out about that, I was like, so you mean I could be a silent business partner amongst thousands of businesses all across the U.S. and I don't have to put my house on the line. I don't have to take 10 years to learn something. I don't have to have all that overhead, and I get to be a silent partner selling all this. And I'm getting fully involved with you on this side.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've been in the brick and mortar space and the amount you have to deal with for being locked into a lease, the overhead, employees, insurance, all of that type of stuff. So you actually found a way to get into business and not have to deal with any of that, stress.
Nothing. Honestly, we only started teaching people how to do this 2 years ago because we just kept teaching people offline, and people kept asking us the kind of same question I asked my wife, like before she was my wife, like, what are you doing from that phone? I don't understand it. Even being on the retail side, I just didn't, I had these 3 guys for that. And I've owned businesses before that business. I had these 3 guys. I remember them. They look like little mafia type guys. They always went in threes, pull up in their Cadillac, and they're the ones that set up our credit card processing.
Yeah.
And I just thought about what most business owners think about, or who we're going to start or own a business. They just like, I just want to accept payments. And I, to this day, don't even know what rate I was paying. And
Right.
I didn't know, I didn't know that they were making money off of every transaction. Right. And then I asked my wife about her business, and then I was like, oh my God, most people don't think about it. Right. So that's where, after finding out about that, I was like, this is an absolute no brainer. It helps people. You make money. And also you can do what we do, and you don't have to have a website. You don't have to have business cards. You can literally do it from your cell phone if you want. Or if you're a business owner listening to this, you can cut out that middle person who set you up and put money back into your pocket. So you can do one of 2 things: be like us, and instantly build a payments company and start creating residual income right away. Or if you're a business owner, you can instantly save your business money and start making residual income on your business as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. As a business owner, the first thing you want to do is lower your overhead. Especially like you said, if your sales resets every day, you're looking to increase your profits. And so probably the best way to do that is lower your overhead.
Yeah. I mean, the great thing about it is, let's say you're going out to somebody and you're able to, maybe there's programs where you can eliminate people's fees. And historically, people sit around 3% to accept credit cards, sometimes under, but let's just go with 3%. Someone's doing $100,000 a month in sales. Well, 3%, they're paying $3,000 a month. What if you're able to get them down to, 2.5 and save them $500 a month, right? You're essentially walking with bags of cash. You still have margin where you're making money. They're saving money. Everybody wins in that equation. And what's great about it is, this is not something they have to keep redoing every day. It's not something they have to keep redoing every month. Once you change them over, or you change yourself over, if anyone's also starting their own business listening to this, definitely reach out, because 25% of our members, the first thing they do is take control of their own processing.
Right.
Is you do an action one time that may take a max of 30 minutes for you to do. And then for the rest of the time, 10 years later in your own business, you will always profit from it every single day, every single month, every single year, without having to do another action.
That's powerful. So, like you said, not having to worry about almost where your next meal is going to come from. So how do you get into even being the processor? Because, as an entrepreneur, obviously, like you said, you want to accept credit cards. You don't want to be a solely cash business. So I have a merchant, but the only reason I just picked kind of who's out there, right? So currently I use Square, but I've been with a multitude of
Square.
Yeah, I've been with a multitude of other people. I use them for, payroll and all kinds of other stuff now, because they started offering other services. And they were cheaper than the bank, right? You pay merchant fees and get the whole machine from the bank. It was outrageous. But how do you become that person? I didn't even know it was possible.
Yeah. So it's funny when I was going to literally say Square before you said I knew you were going to say that. And we show people, existing or brand new businesses, or people who want to go after these businesses, either way, how to easily win over these businesses. And we turn people into brand, payment, and business experts. We either empower you to resell this to other business owners, or we empower you for your own business. And you can, meaning outside of merchant services, we have everything else like Square. Payroll, funding, SaaS products, marketing, branding, social media, a million different things. Because we have a vested interest for you to be successful, because the more successful you are, the long-standing our relationship will be. Mm-hmm. So you're not starting a payment. You're not the payment processor. You're creating a payments company. And there's no licensing for this. You can move from state to state, and you can go after accounts in any state. So whether you're going to just go solely after businesses and you're going to create a payments company, or you own a business, you save yourself money, make your own business money, and you're like, I either have clients, which I have marketing companies, CPAs, other people who just have clients and roll this in as a value add. Instead of sending people to Stripe, they're like, well, I'm not getting paid from Stripe. Let me do this myself.
Right.
Or if you're a business owner that also knows other business owners, we essentially create what we call an automated payments agency for you, where we will do all the heavy lifting. We will handle all the support. We will handle all the integrations. We will handle all the calls. We will handle all the applications. We can show you as much as you want. You can learn as much as you want. But if you just want to bring the people, then, and you're like, I don't care about the intricacies, That's what's great about it is literally in the same day, you can go through our program, learn everything, take the knowledge, go do it on your own, or take the knowledge and partner with us. And you own your own company. We own our own company, but partner with in our program working with us. And then essentially in the same day, we show you how to get out there. The only thing you guys need to set up, which we have partners for, is setting up your LLC or whatever you're going to do. But you can actively go after accounts while that's getting set up. If you don't have a website, we have builders if you want one. But there's nothing it's not like you have to go rent a bit, like you're nothing. You could literally take our program and the next day or the same day, switch over your own business or go after your first account the next day.
It's interesting that it can happen so quickly. Residual Payments is thriving. You and Patricia have been in business over 16 years. You're successful. Why would you want to share this and show other people how to do this when you've got it going already?
Yeah. Everyone always asks me, right? So I'm not done in life. 1000%, I'm not the richest man in the world, not even close. I could retire tomorrow and be done and just go golf and do whatever. And we used to golf every single day. Like I probably golfed every day and just travel the world with Patricia, just working literally from our cell phones. And then, like I said in the beginning, people kept asking us, like, because we were members of a lot of the fancier clubs and, young guy, I'm 38, but let's say about 10 years ago, when you're 30, 31 and it's freaking Monday and these guys see you golfing every day with a caddy, like, what the hell do you do? You're tatted everywhere. Like, I don't really, rich parents? No, like this? No. And then caddies would ask us, other people would ask us, what do you do? So we went on to teach a lot of people this industry. I never thought people who'd never been involved in it could do it. And we had everybody from literally allowing caddies to leave their jobs and now full-time in payments, making more money than they ever could think of, to rich friends who wanted jet fuel and had other rich friends who owned companies. It was a broad spectrum. So light bulb went off and it honestly started impeding into my golf game. And now it's impeded permanently, but we're like, holy crap. We got something here. This could work. Because I'm not a coach. I'm not a guru. I'm actually complete opposite. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
And with our program, it essentially, we built a Costco model. And we can win over Square, Stripe, and PayPal. We have technology to compete with them. But that only goes so far, right? So I'm like, well, there's power in numbers. So why don't we build something where essentially we can build a Costco model by all of us working together. And we have about 1,100 people that we work closely with, that we work very close with. So what happens is I don't own your company. You don't own my company. We're moving as one, just as like a membership, essentially. Like we're all part of this club. We all are completely separate. Like think of like a BNI group or something like that. So every time I knock on a new bank, a new payments company, a new blah, 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 and they give me a rate or a deal, I go, not going to work. They go, why is that? I go, because I got about over 1,000 people coming with me. So by power in numbers, it allows us to garner exclusive contracts to kind of muscle our way through and get lower rates for every single person combined. Now, every person that goes through our program, and whether it's with payroll, funding, merchant services, whatever, we're unlocking all of our either companies we own or we're unlocking our relationships that we have garnered over a long period of time and giving them the best splits and the lowest rates so they can make the most amount of money because I'm a long-term thinker. So I have a vested interest because I make pennies off of every single deal that gets done. Okay. So that's why we do this. And there's 33 million small businesses in the US. People are like, well, there's 30, I don't have all 33 million and I never will. Right. So it's like, that's where it's like, even because of what's happened this year, there's new businesses being started every single day. There's so much out there that even if it was 10,000 of us, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. It's an abundance mindset because you're not going to hoard everything. And you like you said, it's not even possible for you to get all the businesses under your one umbrella. So it's more than enough for people to share and become successful.
Yeah. I mean, before Residual Payments, all of our business, 90-some%, that's my own number. I don't know what the number is, but somewhere around there is through partnerships from connected people, CPAs, web developers, marketing companies, what have you. Still do it. And by the way, we're still in this industry. I make way more money off of our own merchant accounts than I ever do in our trading and way less time. But I've always believed in power in numbers. I've always believed there's enough money for all of it. I don't like, I always say it, and jokingly, you're either with me or you're against me. If you're against me, watch out. And I gave you an option. Come join us. Nah, I'm good. Okay. We're going to run right through you.
I gave you an option,
right? So that's where it's like, we could all make money. And that's for anything. Like, just, you're over here, I'm here. How do we meet in the middle? And just, we're both happy. We can ride off into the sunset. And that's where most people are short-term thinkers when they come to business, and they try to think of getting one client, two clients, and banging them overhead and make as much money as possible. That's not long-term thinking, right? Mm-hmm. So I even give everyone in our program, happens every single week, where people don't understand how big of an opportunity, how much money we actually pay them in terms of like the best split and the lowest rates. And then when they have the knowledge, a month later, a year later, when they're really rocking and rolling, they always look around to find something better, and they always come right back. Because why would I want to get you to a certain level where you're making so much money for you to then leave me because I screwed you? Why would I tarnish our relationships and all of our network that we've built outside of a training program for Patricia, 23 years, myself, 10 over 30 years combined doing this, to tarnish that, right? Mm-hmm. That's not what it's about. So essentially for our people, it's essentially like they're buying into a franchise, but they're not. They're buying a proven model that works, where the owners and all their team, there's about 50 of us, their full team comes and works in your franchise with you. So whether it's you want to go 1,000,000 miles per hour, we're about 7 different programs in one, not only 7 different ways to make residual income, but we're going to show you how to build your brand, grow your social, do marketing, get better at sales, and really flourish, because I want to work with you for as long as you want to be in this industry. And the greatest thing about it is you get paid forever as long as your merchants are processing. So if you hit a number, 6 months, year, 2 months, whatever, and you hit your number, let's say you want to make 20 grand a month, 10 grand a month. If you hit that and you want to go travel the world for 2 years, you can. As long as your merchants are processing, you will continue to get paid. That's the beauty of
it. Interesting. So you talk about ongoing payments. I know the business name is Residual Payments. What is residual? It's a term we hear a lot about, but a lot of people don't know what it is.
So essentially, residually is like you're doing an action one time and then continuing to getting paid from that one action. Right. So, there could be a couple different terminologies for it, but that essentially is the truest meaning. Think of it this way. It's pretty much us and musicians, actors, screenwriters, like for someone who put out a movie, mm-hmm. and then now it's still playing, and they're getting residual checks from it, right? From one time, from doing one scene. Yeah. And I always tell everybody is watch the F1, car races. Every single car has got a payments company because there's so much money in this. Why do you think all the credit card companies give away so many reward points and everything? Because there's so much money in this industry. It's just no one really. It's funny, every time I'm on a podcast or an interview, and even some of my smartest friends, no one just, you've owned a credit card your whole life. You've shopped online in your whole life. You've owned companies. You just never really thought about it. And then when you hear, like, that kind of makes sense.
Well, it makes a whole lot of sense. I just thought it was for the big guys. I didn't know that somebody like you and me,
they want you to think that,
to be in this industry. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they want you to think. You can cut them out, and you can cut out the person as well who set you up. If some people are like, I don't want to do it, or I don't want that savings or what have you. I'm like, all right, put it in your kid's name. Mm-hmm. Like, if they're hitting you up in college for $1,000 a month, why are you giving it to Joe who set you up 5 years ago? That doesn't make any sense to me. Give it to your kid, Yeah. So essentially, before you work with us or switch, and if you, whatever, we give you the tools where you can automatically put in someone's system and see if you integrate. If you integrate, it could be a seamless transition where everything stays the same and they're just more money back in their pocket. We give you all the tools that your merchants are going to know how much they're saving, how it works, and they can know the exact same day before they make the switch. So it's all very transparent. You also get your own CRM as a business owner and as the reseller, where you can track all of your clients, all their processing volume, and how much money you're making on every single client. So that's what's really nice about it is you have full access and full viewability of your company that you're running and how much you're making. And then it's paid out every single month to you, one direct deposit.
David, I got a question for you. So I'm an entrepreneur. My wife is. Yep. We have businesses together and separate. We're members of the chamber, 2 different chambers. Can we work together, David?
Why not?
All right. Let's set something up after we get through this. I want to get more information.
It's literally, it's a relationship that we're building, right? It's not me trying to. This is called residual payments for a reason, not land an account and lose it. It happens every day, literally almost every single day. Every time I have a conversation with somebody, and then they're after they see how easy it is for their own business. That's why we tell every business owner, you have to do it yourself regardless, because you're just burning money. And even if you don't switch, let's say you're like, you know what, timing's bad, I'll do it next month. At least you'll know where you stand. You'll know how much you're overpaying. Okay. So at least you'll have a basis of where you stand. But then for you, if you do switch over and you take control of your own processing, then you can wrap your head around, damn, that was pretty quick. That was pretty easy. Everything Dave said did work out. Okay, now I feel even more confident that now I truly understand how it works, that when I talk to Joe Schmo, I can put my stamp of approval to be like, I did this, you can do this for your business, right? So that's where, we'll definitely help both of you. And it's just, I've never probably been on one interview where someone already thought of this or knew about it. It's just it's just something you just don't think about.
Yeah, I really don't. The only time I thought about it is, like I said, when I realized the bank was charging me so much, and even to have the the card reader and all that stuff, ongoing payments for that in addition to the merchant fees, and that's what made me switch to Square. They could do so much for a lot less. But in order to get residual payments, you have to have an ongoing relationship, right, with that end client. So how do you keep them happy? I know it's typically probably something like a utility bill, right? Once you get the lights activated, nobody's thinking about that water bill again, light bill. They're just going to keep paying it. But how do you keep, as a merchant service, how do you keep that person happy and engaged with you?
Yeah. So 2 answers. Some people come into our program and are like, Dave, like, let's say it's a marketing company. They're like, I got clients. I don't got time. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll service and do everything for you, and we'll take care of that. Other people are like, nah, actually, I'm a hands-on person. Like, we have people who live in like their local towns and have like almost their whole entire town switched over to them because they love, like, they're like crazy hands-on. That's their thing. Yeah. Then you have other people where, okay, you live in California, you're landing accounts in Florida, like, you're not flying to Florida, right? You're not like, so we have our support teams. We have our tech teams. Your merchants get their own dashboard where they can pull their statements monthly. They can open support tickets. They can fight chargebacks inside of their platform. They can do everything that Square and Stripe and all of them offer. The reason why Stripe and Square are great, you can't say anything bad about those companies, or you're an idiot, because look how big those companies are, is they make it like, here's our one flat rate. Here's how it works. Boom. But because they're so big, they can't be creative, right? Everyone has to have the same rate. Yeah. You might be paying X, Y, and Z, but the cost might actually be like 2%. And you might be paying like, I know they advertise 2.6 and 10, but when you're keying in transactions, you're nearing 3.5% sometimes on keying in transactions, right? So after you add up all the ancillary fees, it can really add up. We don't, we don't charge for terminals if we don't have to. Like, those little things we give away to every single person. So, we then we own a CRM company as well. We show you how to set up automations where every couple months, a text and email will go out to your clients if you don't want to pick up the phone. Just say, hey, Dan, I want to thank you again for your business. Here's a free copy on how to grow your social media. Hey, Dan, here's one of our new funding partners. Like, little things that you can have touch points if you don't want to have physical touch points. Now, as you know, and I still believe in, meeting people in person is the biggest thing you can ever do. I believe in networking all days, always, right? So if you're like, nah, I want to send them and do everything, well, then that's a separate program that we do for people. If you want to come in and switch your own merchant account, literally, it's just $1 to join, because we just had to charge us $1 to actually have the transaction rung to show up in our system for your login to be sent. You can pay $1, join our program, switch your own business owner over, and then take the information and go do it on your own. That's free, right? Or $1, but pretty much free. If you're like, hey, Dave, I want you guys to do everything for me. I just want to bring the people, and occasionally I'll join calls. Occasionally I'll do this because I want to listen in. Okay, well, that's a separate program where we just charge a one-time fee. And then for a full entire year, we're your service bureau that does everything for you. Because a lot of people like yourself, you're busy.
Yeah.
You don't have, you're like, one, you may not want to really learn the intricacies. And number two, you just don't have time. So if you're sending all these deals and we're working them, you get your own CRM where you have viewability of every lead. You get your own branded page of every lead that comes in. You see our team working all the leads, and then you see the applications going out. Then your portal, you see the money that you're making without doing anything.
Got it. Okay.
We've been doing this for a long time, so it's like we got it.
Yeah, I can tell you got some processes down. Yeah, it's got a nice flow to it. Good processes. Where do you see it headed in the near future?
It's going to be. I really think that the smaller people who aren't joining forces with us, they're going to be a dying breed because it's constantly changing. Where it used to be like a balance, right? And that's where your bank would hit you over the top of the head because they couldn't board what we call mid to higher risk accounts, like your coaches, your Nutra, your MLMs, your credit repair, your BizOp, your travel, what have you. So they only got one place they can make money when they offer merchant services, and that's your brick and mortar or your very low risk.
Yeah.
So it used to be where the higher risk accounts, you had to keep them at a certain threshold of chargebacks to offset the no chargebacks for in person. You had to say a certain threshold to keep your licenses. Now, Visa, MasterCard, American Express have even changed the rules up. So it's getting harder for like the person who owns a payments company and has a team of 3 to compete with people like ourselves or Square, Stripe, or PayPal because, numbers and money, like it just wins, right? So that's one thing. But as crypto evolves, as payments evolve, we evolve with it. If there's ever a lockdown again, God forbid, Frank, I hope there's not a lockdown for business owners, but if there ever is something that happens again, I'm not going to brag about it, but we've made more money in the lockdown than ever, because everyone just started crushing online, right? So, it's going to evolve with, more face recognition payments, stuff like that. So eventually going to evolve, but that's the beauty of it is as, you couldn't process for CBD. Now we can. We can't process for dispensaries yet. We eventually will. We couldn't do Kratom. Now we can. We couldn't, there wasn't a thing of crypto. Now crypto's coming in. So like as currencies always are exchanged, it doesn't really matter. We're always going to be around and we're always going to make money out of it. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say it, but it's a real recession proof type long-term play for people that credit card processing or any type of transacting is always, it's commerce, right? Transaction is always going to happen no matter what for the end of time. It's going to change different dynamics of transacting, but there's always going to be a person or a company that sets up that transaction.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there, Dave, because as an executive, you're really forward thinking. I mean, even things as far as the CBD and THC, crypto, like you said, things that are normally taboo for a bank, for whatever reason, you're forward thinking and saying, hey, these services aren't going to stop. So how can we find a way to still interact and process these payments as well?
Yep. When you go into the metaverse, what's going to happen? People are going to be buying or whatever verse. There's going to be 5 million different ones of them
or whatever.
Wherever you go into, okay, they're going to be buying, they're going to be buying cars in the metaverse. They're going to be buying this. You're like, commerce is always going to happen. It's happened since, I don't know the date, but when Jesus or whatever you believe in that time, whatever that time is, here's a chicken for some food. Here's a lamb for this. There's always, it's never going to
exchange. Yeah. It's not going to stop.
Yeah. And you either innovate or you join people who are innovating like ourselves, or you get involved in a different industry. Cause like, that's why I tell people, they're like, I'm going to do it on my own. I'm like, we're going to run you over. Our train's coming behind you. So, it is what it is, but good luck. It just, most people everyone wants to be greedy, right? Like everyone wants all money for themselves. And like, I'm a really long-term thinker. Like instead of me, like you coming in and me like trying to make as much money off of you by switching your merchant account, like maybe I see your merchant account, I'm like, damn, he got overcharged so much. We don't have to save him that much. Nah, let me hook you up and save you as much money as possible, because I'm gambling on the fact that number one, by me hooking you up, you'll see it and you'll never leave me. That's the one win I'm looking for. That's a long-term play, but it's worked for me for a very long time. Number two, the more I help you that I'm gambling on and showing you how easy it is that you'll go, I know other people. So instead of me thinking about trying to make money, as much money off of one thing, I'm thinking, how how could he potentially get me 100 more accounts without me having to do it?
Hmm. You talk about being greedy. How much money is enough money?
Well, give me context. You mean making monthly, yearly?
No, I'm talking about in terms of success, right? So, there was a time in my life when I struggled to make 20,000. Then you hit that and you're like, man, if I only made $50,000 a year, if I only made six figures, if I only made $1 million, like how much money is enough money?
I can't answer that. Everyone tells me to stop. I got enough, and it's not enough. Because there's levels. There's levels how you want the levels to be.
Yeah.
Right. Like I haven't bought a plane yet. Next year. I think I'm going to buy one. Like I want a big plane. I don't want a prop plane. I want my stewardess. I want my 2 pilots. I want the whole shebang. I'm not going to buy like Grant Cardone plane. I'll buy a $6-8 million nice plane to start. Right. But I've been waiting, and I wait a long time for these things where whenever I buy things, like I bought my dream car 2 months ago. I could have bought it 10 years ago. I bought the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Love it. Very happy with it. But I waited a long time.
I've seen it. Orange interior. Looks good. Looks good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And I love it. And I don't care what people say. They're like, nah, I'm trying. Like, you don't buy certain things like that if you want to be low key. Like, stop lying that you don't love every person like looks at you everywhere you go. But like, I'm low key where you'll see me maybe jumping out with, whatever, dirt all over myself. But then there's certain things that we like. And I want to go to a point in my life where not only, which we already do, I can help other people and leave an impact. But when I'm done, when I'm officially done, my whole family, my cousins, everyone who's my relation to me is going to be done, and they're going to be rich, and they're going to have no bills anywhere else. Right. So I don't know what the number is, because it depends on how much money you're making and what you're spending and what your lifestyle is and where you live and what you want to achieve and how big of a gambler you are. Yeah. Because I'm not a gambler in terms of business. Like if I have a new business venture, I'll never take more than 10% of our net worth and put it into anything, because God forbid it doesn't work out. I see people time and time again work 10 years to create some great fortune of whatever that number is in their bank account. And then they see some offer that's so irresistible that they put all their eggs in one basket and lose that 10 years of work.
Yeah.
So you got to be smart. You got to find ways like this where your money can work for you and you can invest in different things. And, at the same time, you have to be willing to put in work. So I don't really know what number that is. I think if you can work and you got free time and you can figure out other ways to make money, keep on making more money. Because if you got enough money for yourself, well, do your brothers and sisters or your mom or your dad or your best friends you grew up with,
who's next?
How are they doing? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean like, hey, best friend, here, I'm gonna give you all money and not work. Nah, it's like, hey, best friend, question for you, and don't take this any disrespect. You've been working for this company for a long time. Is that your dream? Why I'm asking you is, we're best friends. If you're telling me your dream is to open up a hair salon or whatever, I'm not going to give you the cash. What I want to do is let's try your dream. I will be 50-50 partners. You do the work. I'll put up the capital. Let's see if we can change your life. There's a million things that you can do to empower other people. So that's just really, it's a wide open question on how you want to live your life and when is enough. But I will tell you, when you get to a certain level and you're making buku bucks, you usually don't stop. How do they get to the next level? Because then usually you start hanging out with the higher tier people, and then you're like, damn, I'm not killing it. There's this.
Well, you get to this level of success because you're competitive, right? You got this edge, and it's just like you were talking about playing golf. And if I say, okay, my goal is to get into the 90s, well, then I shoot the 90s. I'm like, okay, well, I want to get in the 80s. Then I want to be a scratch. So it's like it never stops. You just want to keep improving. And I don't think it's necessarily greed. It's just that competitive edge.
Well, and then like in business, you find a different course that you've never played before, and you have to master that.
Yeah.
There's always room to learn. There's always room to, to just find new ways to make money. And for most people, maybe speaking for myself, I love the puzzle aspect of it, like of figuring how to put pieces together that can then create income for yourself. And, some things that for a lot of entrepreneurs, some people can find something and boom, instantly make money, and other people, it takes them longer. I truly just believe on make whatever you want to make so that you can wake up and go, nah, not working today. Or you can go, going away for a month. Or you can go, you know what? I'm going to go freaking nuts and whatever and work this next year. And then I'm going to take next year off. I believe in having the freedom so that you can then choose how you want to live your life and what you want to do. If you want the money because you want to ball out and F everybody else, by all means. If you want the money because you want to be very, giving away and do charities, by all means. Just be honest with yourself on what you want it and be willing to put in the work and just be true to what you want. Don't act like why you're doing it. Just enjoy the process of whatever business you're building. Enjoy the process of making money. And if you want to take that money and F the world and you're going to diamond yourself up, do you. Don't let other people tell you how to live your life because it's way too short.
Man. Hey, I appreciate it, David. I know you got a ton of things to do, running your business and then, of course, spending time with your beautiful wife. But I want to, I got something I do on every episode, right? So the name of the show is Success Leaves Clues Podcast. So I like to point out a couple of clues that I picked up during our conversation, and I'm quite sure the audience will pick up their own clues. So one thing that I noticed off the bat is that you have the ability to remove your ego, and I think that helps you to be successful. There's a lot of people who wouldn't necessarily say, look, my business is not the best model, even though I'm being successful. It's not the best model, and I'm going to stop this and follow my wife and follow, what her business model is doing. And I think, that helps, especially in business, if you remove that ego and don't have too much pride to take correction and make those changes. Another thing that I noticed is that, you don't have a mentality of lack. You have an abundance mindset. For you to be in an industry like this that has residual income and is so lucrative, and you're willing to share that information and help other people become successful, I think that in turn is helping you and your business to be even more successful.
Yeah, it's been incredible. It is rewarding. I tell her, I'm so happy every time I see somebody that it's just crazy that met someone on a podcast, ran an ad, someone saw a Facebook ad, clicked on it, believed in us, trusted us, joined us, started a company, have a company, now have clients under their arms that they're posting on Facebook. Now their lives are being changed. Now they're being interviewed by this. And now I see them touting online on this company there. And now they're being able to quit their job. Now they're full time and they have something, their whole life changed. And now it trickled down to their kids and their families that are being impacted. That's kind of cool. I don't have kids. We just decided not to because we work so freaking much. We're 7 days a week, 16 hours a day, work, 3 dogs. And I'm like, we don't have kids. We just getting involved in the Big Brother program and other things. But I'm like, we're impacting other people's kids. I think it's just cool the way commerce works and the way the world works now, where, some people that we've worked with, even on our team for a very long time, I've never met. And some people I've never even seen on camera, but we just have a weird bond and trust that it's hard nowadays. You said you look people up online, you don't know what's real and what's not. Some people are just better at social media than you. Right. Yeah. And, to have someone trust you and to actually then fulfill on that trust agreement, and then to actually not just fulfill, but to see them also fulfill their part and then everybody to win and both sides smiling. That's why I always tell everyone, it's like, I want you to make as much money as possible. But the happiest I get is when I talk to you and you go, Dave, I'm just happy. Because I'm just happy because there's pressure off of me. I got a newborn kid or what have you. I get to spend time with them. I get to spend time with my wife. I don't have to stress about bills anymore. And the course of my life has been changed. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely. Incredible. I appreciate you sharing with the audience and everything. I appreciate already what you've sparked in my mind. So I can't wait to get a chance to work with you.
Well, thank you for having me on here. I greatly appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Success Leaves Clues podcast.
Be sure to follow Dr. K on Instagram at Dr. K Washington or the podcast page at Success Leaves Clues Podcast. We'll see you here next time.